Hi! With everything that's going on lately, I have decided to just take on a project that's a little bit easier. I want to create a two-piece for one of my absolute best friends for her birthday in March. So in order to get to that point, I need to create a prototype. So in this idea of ease and simplicity and just giving myself a break, I've decided to work with two different indie pattern makers. So I'm doing a top and a skirt. For the skirt, I decided to do the January skirt by Noe Patterns. So the fabric I'm going to work with is this cool print that my friend did. It's on a cotton sateen, I believe. It's like mid-weight, but it's super soft, and I think it's going to be the perfect little two-piece. I'm honestly so excited to not make a pattern. If you don't know, I'm a designer, a technical designer, a pattern maker, a 3D pattern maker, a 3D designer, and I just want a little break. I just want to sew just for fun. I want to use someone else's instructions. I want to use someone else's pattern. I want to use someone else's prints and just create something beautiful as this prototype that I will inevitably create a final style for my friend's birthday. I feel like this might actually be quite hard to see. I'm using my projector to project the pattern onto the wall, and I will place the paper onto the wall and then trace out the pattern. Hard to see, but onto the wall and then try to explain my plan.
The skirt is a yoke, 2 tiers, and a bottom. So I'm going to remove the bottom to remove the zipper. Instead of having the ties at the side, I'm going to just feed ties through the back of the waistbands. For the back panel, I want to make sure that there's a little bit extra. I need to basically get the skirt on without having to use a zipper.
Why am I like this? Okay, I just gave myself a little skirt intervention. Decided to not redesign the skirt, not figure out construction at the side seam, to not figure out how to add over 6 inches into the waist. I will follow the pattern. I will follow the pattern 90% completely. I found a zipper in my little trims bin. It matches the fabric perfectly. I'll just go ahead and add the zipper. I'm not going to add the extra 6 inches. I'm going to just be simple, be easy, and give myself a little break and a little fun and stop trying to figure out how to always change things. I'm excited now. I did get a little overwhelmed with thinking about how I'm going to spend the day repatterning and figuring out construction. Just need to lean into it and have fun with it. So I have all the pattern pieces cut, and first step, a very important first step. I'm so happy that I'm doing someone else's pattern so I can learn these little tips and tricks. The very first step is to do a stay stitch, a basting stitch essentially, along the top edge of the yoke. So the back yoke, do a stay stitch along the top. The front yoke, do a stay stitch along there. That prevents the fabric from stretching as you sew it, but fascinating. So I have my overlock machine all set up, ready to clean up some of these. So we're doing 1/2 inch seam allowance on the side seams. I'm just overlocking the sides of the top skirt. So I need to start shirring or gathering the ruffle top edge of the skirt. I know a trick for this. It's pretty cool actually. I just pulled some extra thread here. I put everything on the longest stitch, so the biggest distance between the stitches. And as I start to sew, I'll do a couple stitches and then I'll just gently hold the thread at the top of the machine to hold some tension. Most beautiful day here in Los Angeles. So the zipper is in on the side seam and I'm just finishing out the inside of the waistband, which it calls to make your own bias tape, but again, to the tune of just keeping things easy, simple, and just having a fun, quick project. I'm just gonna go ahead and overlock it, so you'll see some overlock stitches on the inside waistband, but that's fine with me. Just a quick little fit test and it's fitting so good. It's honestly pretty cute as a mini, but I still have all of these panels for the bottom. Just need to finish the sides of the skirt before starting the gathers on the top edge for the bottommost section. Just putting in the final tier of the skirt, and it's sunset outside right now. So the top 3 tiers of the skirt are completed. It fits so great. And it's so twirly. So I still want to add that last tier to the bottom. I actually never cut it because I didn't anticipate adding it. I think we just need a little bit more length. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that and attach it. Oh, and a little hem. Paper sheet. Good girl. So we need to talk. There's been some changes in the future of my friend's birthday outfit. So after she saw a little behind the scenes of the skirt I'm making, she unfortunately doesn't think that it's going to be super flattering around the midsection, which I understand. No big deal. I'm pretty sure I just sewed my favorite skirt ever. I love this skirt. I'm going to make it in like every fabric I have. But moving forward, I'm scrapping this skirt and the top options for her birthday outfit. And I'm gonna be going with 2 patterns by Fortiv patterns. One is the tulip top. It's so cute in like every colorway, every combo, every color block, every styling bit. And I just love their styling. I love their aesthetics. I really like what Fortiv is doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and purchase this pattern. Again, I'm just gonna follow the pattern. I'm gonna be easy on myself. I had so much fun making this skirt, and I truly think it's because I just was not paying attention to the pattern. I was not paying attention to construction and figuring out how that goes. It was basically like putting together a puzzle. And if you know me, I've been looking at joining some puzzle competitions. So putting together patterns as a puzzle is just perfect for my brain. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the tulip top by Fortiv, and I'm going to do, this is still a maybe, but as of right now, I'm going to be doing the calyx skirt by Fortiv as well. So I'm going to be giving Fortiv a lot of attention and really looking into their patterns, which is exciting. So this skirt is similar to the skirt I just made in a way. It's also very similar to another skirt I made in another video, which I patterned and drafted. But both of those styles are very fitted around the midsection. So this one has a little bit more ease around the waist. There's a drawstring. I think some of these are elastic, but I think I'm just gonna make it a drawstring, like a contrast drawstring. And so I'll basically be making this set. Fabric-wise, maybe I will use this fabric again for the corset top. This like nice cotton sateen. For the skirt, oh, I have this really fun red cotton voile. Let me get it. I have this beautiful cotton sateen. This would make the perfect skirt. I feel like I've been needing more color lately. I've really been wearing black and white. Okay, so I'm gonna do the skirt in this. I'll do the corset top in this. I'm pretty sure. I do have some cool well, let me have a think on this and let me get into that. Completely forgot I got this linen tablecloth from a thrift store. And I think it would make a much better skirt, actually. It's a little bit heavier than this other cotton sateen I was going to use. So I've gone ahead and cut both patterns. I've cut the tulip top in the exact same linen fabric that I'll be using for my friend's tulip top, so I can get an understanding of the construction and how the fabric wants to cooperate. I've also cut the calyx skirt in the old tablecloth that I had found, which is actually a pretty similar linen fabric to what I will be cutting it in. So the last things I need to do is just finish cutting out the fusing for the sides of the tulip top, and then I can go ahead and start assembling. I'm just applying the 2 rows of long stitches so I can go ahead and start the side shirring. So I have the 2 side panels done. And now I need to do the front piece and the back piece. I'm pretty excited. I think it's gonna be kind of cool. I have so many more maxi skirts now all of a sudden. So the calyx skirt is complete. I just need to get the go-ahead from my friend to see if I can go ahead and start cutting in the real fabric, which is this really nice 100% flax linen, super textured, mid-weight, super nice. So I'm gonna start working on the tulip top. I'm gonna do some color block options and see what I want to proceed with and get right into that. So option 1. So this is the front side of the tulip top, and I can do all 3 pieces in the same color, and then basically the top could be reversible and the other side will be in this blue. Option 2 is color blocking like this. So I'll have a blue in the center and I'll have the sides be the alternate color. And option 3 is creating a center front seam and creating everything alternating like this. Okay, since this is the proto and I'm just doing the size small right now, I'm gonna go ahead with on the front, green on the sides, blue on the front, and then the opposite, the back side, will be blue on the outside, green on the inside, so the opposite of this. It's so nice right now to just open instructions and have someone basically tell me what to do instead of always trying to figure out if I made the right seam allowance, if the construction methods are correct. This feels like a fun puzzle to put together versus some overcomplicated procedure after working all day. So first step is to go ahead and sew the top and bottom edge at 3/8 of an inch. Snip into the top neckline at the curves and snip into the notch on either side of the hem, stopping 2 millimeters from the corner. So 2 millimeters from the corner. For some reason, I think I'm gonna restitch this bottom because I have a little bit of a flat bottom there. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's like a nice round, and then it's kind of flat. So I think I'm just going to stop it where it starts to turn flat right here, and then just kind of give it a little bit of a nicer shape. I know my thread doesn't match. I do have this thread that's going to be the perfect color to use for both sides, but I'm actually out of bobbins, so I'm just going to use up this thread because nothing's on a top stitch right now anyways. Use up this thread, and then I will go ahead and put that thread in once I run out of thread on this bobbin, which isn't too far out. I just don't want to waste any thread, unless I really have to. And for now, I think this color is just fine. It's pretty neutral. It actually works really well with the green. So I'll just go ahead and restitch this top. Now sewing together the side backs. Snip a triangle out of the top corner here. And then I'll go ahead and just cut some relief snips into the curves, and then I'll take the seam allowance down as far as I can. It's easier to do the relief cuts. I get a little bit more meat on the snip than if I were to take down the seam allowance and then do the relief cuts. So these are just really helpful for when I flip. When I go to iron it, basically the fabric won't bunch as much. So I'm gonna turn these out and iron them down. Oh, this is so nice to have the step-by-step instead of trying to figure out how to do these burrito style clean finish hems on 6 panels. So for this tie, for the lace up on the sides, you can either do grommets or you can make your own binding self loops. And I didn't want to make this binding self loops because I just wanted to get started on this project. So I decided to go with the grommets, but I'm actually having second thoughts now because if I do in fact color block this, it would be so cool to have this be fully reversible. So I think I might actually make the loops and go ahead and open up the side seam and add those loops in. So I just went ahead and made a bunch of these little straps that will be holding the ties for the side lace up, and I attached them in here so the sides will look like this, and then the lace up will be in here. I kind of wanted to do fatter ones that are a little bit more hidden in, but I'm afraid that since the only way to get in and out of this is through the side ties, it would just be a pain if it's really hard to pull it tight. So I'm just taking on, doing like a burrito style method and basically trapping the center front in and closing out the sides of the stop. So I'm just finalizing the first side of the side cup, doing the burrito method, so everything will be super, super clean finished. Working my way through, so I have the front corset completed. For some reason, the notches at the bottom didn't line up. I don't know why, so I had to ease in a bit more fabric into the overbust, which caused some puckering, so I'm not the biggest fan of that. I tried ironing it out as much as I could. And now I'm just working on the back panel here. Have the loops done, the sides fully clean finished and top stitched. And now I need to just sew all the way around, leaving the tops open. And then I flip everything out and through. So the top is pretty much complete. Everything's been put together and turned out. The last things to do are to go ahead and top stitch all the edges. I need to go ahead and hand stitch close the areas where I turned the entire garment out. And I need to go ahead and make binding so I have a little lace up on the side here. I'm gonna use my little homemade 3D printed binding tape maker. I'm gonna cut this fabric at 1 1/4, use this to iron it out, stitch that together, and that should make some pretty nice binding for the side. So before I add the top stitching, I'm just hand basting part of the areas that were still open, and also some of the areas where there was some puckering over the bust where I had to add in ease. So I'm just hand stitching that so it'll be clean when I go ahead and top stitch. So I'm running my 1 1/4 inch binding through this little binding majigger that I 3D printed which will fold the sides over and I'll iron it. And then from there, I'll sandwich those pieces back over into one piece of binding. And then I'll go ahead and top stitch this. So this week I took on 3 new styles with the intention of just being easy, giving some grace and some space, and just having fun with pattern making again. I used 3 other pattern makers' patterns to create 3 super fun styles. With the January skirt, since I've made this, I've been wearing this pretty much non-stop. It's also just a really great print and just super fun to be wearing in this really weird heat spell we're having here in Los Angeles. This skirt I also have been wearing nonstop. It's so comfy and it's just easy with the drawstring, no elastic, just linen. It's becoming very quickly one of my favorite skirts as well. The color is great, it's punchy, and it's just a great little item to throw in if I want to have a little bit of color and a little bit of ease and movement. Hey, thanks so much for coming along on this little easy breezy pattern making following journey. So I'm about to head to Death Valley this weekend to check out the Super Bloom that's happening, and I'm gonna take my new favorite skirt along with me for the adventure. So I'll see you again in a couple weeks for some exciting projects. See you then. Bye.